We've discussed in detail the challenges that are posed by the DPA or conducting DPA. In this video, we are going to just summarize them before we move on to the benefits by conducting DPA that an organization can achieve. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily find new content on data privacy. And as I mentioned, we are going to talk about summarizing up the DPIA challenges that we have seen in the last 10 days. So what is a DPIA, data protection impact assessment? What does it practically mean? It practically means that you are reevaluating all your processes of collecting, storing, sharing, processing and deleting personal data that your organization uses for whatever purpose it does. Of course, purpose has to be clear and known to the data principal whose personal data you are processing. But every time you introduce a new process, every time you make a change in the process, you are expected to do an assessment called data protection impact assessment, where you can jot down if there is any risk of probable misuse or breach of the personal data, and if yes, there is anything, then you should find a way to mitigate it and resolve it, right? So let's look at the challenges that people face when they conduct DPIA. So I've categorized them into three. We'll talk about the foundational challenges first. It becomes difficult to identify the privacy risk accurately. It's a new thing and all different departments do not take personal data at the same level. They don't understand what it means right now as if the personal data is lost, right? How can it be misused? Which actually is becoming very common, but people still think that it may not be lost or hacked from their end. There's a lot of complexity about data protection or data processing activities. The data is personal and non-personal data is mixed in some cases. So there has to be a way that people need to find out to segregate them, or ensuring that if they are processing non-personal data also, privacy related activities or checks need to be managed for the interrelated personal data. There's a lot of lack of expertise because not many people have yet geared up to understand privacy and the details of privacy and related compliances as of now. So that is another challenge that the organizations are facing, and that challenge multiplies when even your stakeholders are not ready to understand the impact of breach of personal data. They also think at this stage, many of them, that it's just another compliance and it is not a risk. Actually, it is a risk, because if your personal data that you are processing is breached and that gets publicized, then it's a loss of reputation as well, and you might have to end up with mitigation with the data principals whose personal data has been compromised in your organization. The second set of challenges is on operational hurdles that you face when you are executing DPIA. You're not able to balance risk mitigation with business needs, right? Risk mitigation would need cost apart from time and help from stakeholders. So people are not able to yet find the right balance between mitigation of risk and the business needs. Regulatory requirements keep changing regularly. It do change within a regulation. New rules come up, minor changes, major changes, including adoption of AI, etc. Plus, there are many countries who are still not fully into data privacy, and they are coming up. Like around 8 states of US have started adopting privacy related compliances recently. So organizations who were working in those countries were free from privacy, but now they have to adopt to privacy. So you need to be ready for that. There's inadequate risk management measures. Even the technical securities like access controls and firewalls are not fully available, and there's a lot of third-party risk. You do a lot of data processing when you outsource your small activities to third parties. You might end up outsourcing the name and the address of your prospective customers, sending them birthday gifts, and these are very small examples, right? So if there are large KPOs, BPOs who collect information, even large companies who collect information on their brand name and get it processed through a marketing agency, which is an outside agency who has to send to these customers, regular mailers to these customers. So third party risk is there. Are they compliant, and how do you handle if they are not compliant? What kind of contracts you sign with them to ensure they are compliant, their audits, etc. And then you have sustainability, and is the assessment followed up properly? There's an inconsistent risk scoring and documentation, like we discussed earlier also, that many people still don't understand the real risk of not being compliant with privacy rules. There's a lot of resistance towards the implementation of DPIA findings. It needs a lot of change in working systems. A lot of senior people especially, could be at elite level as well, but there could be a lot of resistance because there's a change in process, the way you work. People believe that their working methods are perfect and no change is required, but that may not always be true. You have to be aligned with handling data subject rights as far as your DPI is concerned. Rights like access control, data portability, deletion, correction, again intermingling of personal and non-personal data. Again, if one person wants to access data, how can we provide him an access so that he accesses only his data and not of anyone else, right? So those considerations need to be taken. And inadequate follow-ups on DPIA results. It happens with many audits. There are recommendations and they turn out to be the same in the next audit or similar in the next audits because the follow-up was not done to ensure that DPI is implemented and the risks have been mitigated. So that's about the summary of the various risks under DPIA. I've already had videos of each of them in detail, and I have tagging each detailed video also along with the slides, so you can go through them and share your feedback in the comments section. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already done that, and if you like the content of this video, please press the like and the bell icon. Thank you.